Hi guys, good Saturday afternoon. Today I'm going to make stuffed muffins, and I'm going to stuff them with blueberry preserves and some sweetened cream cheese. It'll also have some cinnamon and sugar and some almonds. So I got this recipe through like a magazine subscription solicitation. Came in the mail. When you get those, go through them because they almost always have at least one or two complimentary recipes tucked in there. And so this is one of those that came with a complimentary recipe. Didn't buy the magazine, but I've made this so many times and it is so good. So first I want to show you, I start with, excuse me, a can of Grand's flaky layer biscuits. Then I divide those biscuits, move the camera a little bit, into thirds. So here's a biscuit. They're flaky layers, so you can just pull them apart. So here's one layer. They actually have lots of layers, but I make sure I get 3 layers. And I try to keep the thickest 2 layers for the top and the bottom. All right, I'm gonna tilt the camera down so you can see where I have separated all of my biscuits. So I ended up with 24 pieces. Okay, that will make 8 muffins. All right, pull you back up here. Whoops. Okay, it's cutting my head off a little bit. Let's see if I can adjust it. That's a little better, a little crooked, but it's better. Okay, so I have melted 2 sticks of butter. I always start with 2 sticks. I always have extra, but I'd rather not run out in the middle of a recipe and then have to go melt more. And I can always use this tomorrow on biscuits or pancakes or whatever we have for breakfast tomorrow. I also have 1 cup of sugar with 1 heaping tablespoon of cinnamon mixed together, and I mixed in some sliced almonds. I like to do this part on a plate so I can dip and lay out several pieces, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I have 1 block of cream cheese sweetened with 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, all mixed up. And I have 1 jar of blueberry preserves. Okay, so in my muffin pan, I have put in some liners. Now for this one, I bought fancy liners. I'm actually taking these to Sunday school tomorrow, so I wanted it to look a little bit more presentable. When I make them for us here at home, I don't use liners, but they sometimes get torn up and misshapen when you're removing them from the muffin tins. I actually ran out of these fancy liners, so I had to use a few regular cupcake liners, and I'll show you those when we're finished. And they're just as pretty. I just like these fancy ones. All right, so I'm ready to start dipping and layering. So I'm going to adjust the camera down lower so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to take just a pair of short tongs, dip my biscuit layer in butter, lay it into the powdered sugar. And I like to do this as an assembly line, so I do all the bottoms first. Then I put in my cream cheese layer, do the middles, put in my blueberry layer, and then I do my top layer. Okay, so I'm gonna flip these over, get them nice and coated. There's some almonds, there's some cinnamon sugar. That one didn't get coated very well. Try that one again. There we go. I'll move this for just a second so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to take that and put it down in the bottom of the muffin liner, or the cupcake liner, muffin tin liner, whatever you call these things. Kind of squish it down in there. You want it to cover the bottom and kind of come up on the sides a little bit. Okay, there's 4. Do the other 4. Butter, cinnamon and sugar. I've done this with other fruits. One time I did apple pie filling for my fruit layer, and that was really good, except that the pieces of apple that were in the can of pie filling were just too big. So the next time I did it with a peach pie filling, and that time I took it out of the can and I cut up those peaches a little bit, making them just smaller bites. Might need to mix up some more cinnamon and sugar. We'll see. I might make it with what's there. Okay. Keep in mind, I've already done 1 can of biscuits. So I have another tray over here that's already come out of the oven, and it was another 8 biscuits or 8 stuffed muffins. Okay, so now I'm going to take my cream cheese. I'll do it this way so you can see. And I just get a pretty good size spoon. This is just a cereal spoon. And I plop it down there in the middle. I try to keep it in the middle so that when I put my next layer of biscuit on, it kind of makes a seal between the layers. I'll get these in here and I'll move the camera and show you what that looks like. And I always have cream cheese left over. That's okay. Eat it on a graham cracker or something. Okay. All right, I'm done with that. I'm gonna bring camera over so you can see what they look like. Maybe, if I can get the camera to work. There they are. Okay, so we have biscuits and we have cream cheese. All right. Now we're going to do another layer of biscuit, but this time it's just plain. You just stick it in the way it is and kind of tuck it in around that cream cheese, making a little bit of a seal around it, sealing it to the bottom piece of biscuit, bottom layer. Okay. This one was so sad. This layer did not come apart very well, so it's just going to be kind of a weird middle. But that's okay. It'll still be tasty. All right. Now I've got my middle layer in. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the cream cheese, but with the blueberry preserves. Just get a spoonful. Try to keep it in the middle of the second layer, except for that one who has a very sad second layer. Maybe that, I'll make sure that one's mine when I get to Sunday school tomorrow. Okay. Let's see, what other flavors have I done? Oh, I've done strawberry preserves. I've done a mixed berry preserve. Ooh, you could even do pumpkin. Maybe mix up some pumpkin pie filling or pumpkin butter and put that in, and then add pumpkin spice to your cinnamon and sugar. That would be tasty. All right, I'm gonna kind of scrape this down so I make sure I get all of that. And I am gonna add some more almonds. Mix that up a little bit. Okay. All right, we're going to butter. My butter's getting cool. It's kind of getting solidified. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Kind of toss these around a little bit in that cinnamon and sugar and put on the top layer. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this top layer I did with the middle, and just try to get a little bit of a seal around those blueberry preserves and onto that middle layer. Get that in there. That other batch I did a while ago, I don't know what was wrong with me. First, I forgot to put in the cream cheese layer, so I had to take it apart. I hadn't got the blueberries in yet. Then I went to put, got the cream cheese layer in there, got the middle layer, went to finish it up and forgot the blueberry layer. So good grief, I had to take it apart and do it again. Thankfully, they did turn out beautiful. Now these that I'm putting in right now, because this is the tail end of my cinnamon and sugar, they're not getting much on there, but we're going to fix that in just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to take what's here on the plate and kind of brush some of that in on top of the muffins that didn't get very much. I don't want to waste any of this. It's good stuff. It's messy. There we go. And I think I'll throw in just a couple extra almonds on top. Just a tip when you're using your almonds, if you don't use them all right away, which I used half of this container, I'm going to put those in the freezer and store them that way. I got to wash my hands real quick. And that way it keeps the oil in the almonds from going rancid. Okay. And it looks like my oven is ready. So, ooh. Look at these beauties. All right, they're going in the oven, 375, 25 minutes. And that's it. Do let them cool for about 10 minutes before you try to eat them. Those blueberry preserves are so incredibly hot. I'm afraid of what that would do to you. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what I made earlier and show you how beautiful they are. Here's the ones in the fancy liners and the ones that are not in the fancy liners. And you can see with the shorter cupcake liners, the blueberry does ooze out some and makes quite a big mess in your muffin tin. And it looks like on that one side it kind of leaked out in my oven. I'll have to clean that up. But they are just as delicious and just as beautiful. All right, so I would love to hear from you. Let me know what flavors you have tried. How did this turn out for you? Oh, the last one I did was a mixed berry preserve. Ooh, my hair's messy because of the wind. And pecans. And those were fantastic. All right, so thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope that you try this recipe. Let me know how it goes. Bye.